Today we're going to be showcasing our capstone project, and I'm going to start us off with the first 4 requirements. The first one is the installation and startup. So once we have our repo cloned locally, we can go down to the README and find the first way that we can start the program, which is through a bash script, which is copy it and paste it into our terminal, and it'll start downloading all dependencies. I'm going to cut it off because it takes a little bit. And we also have a Docker method, which is copy our EMB file example into an actual EMB file, and then we run docker compose, and then it'll run the program. Our example EMB file just has some placeholders that the user would have to fill in order for the program to work correctly. Here I already have it with my EMB file filled. The user can create an account. I already have mine created. And this leads us to our second requirement, which is to require the user to give consent for data access before proceeding with the scan. As you can see here, I do not have data access enabled. So if I try to scan a directory, it won't run, and you can see the error message says data access consent required. To enable it, I can just go to consent management. I can review the privacy notice if I want. Read it here, and then I can enable the required consent for data access. Once it's enabled, I can try and scan my project again, and this time it should work. Once the directory is scanned, it'll give us a little overview, as well as the file list with all the files processed, with the MIME type and the size. And if we try to scan a non-directory, we'll get an error. The scanner only accepts zip files or normal folders, and we have it so that the program zips the folder and runs it. So say I try to just scan a PDF. I'll get an error saying that the directory the path that I tried to scan is neither a directory nor a zip file, so it won't run.
Hello everyone, this is Om from Team 7, and I'm going to present some features that my capstone team has made. So currently, as you can see, I'm logged into my account and none of the consent has been provided. So if we try running the AI analysis, it won't work. As you can see, consent hasn't been provided. So let's go into the consent module, and then let's provide the required consent and still not give it any of the AI features, just so that we can see what local analysis we have. And if you try running AI analysis, it is still not going to work, as you can see. Let's run a portfolio scan on this folder that I have. Once we run the scan, you can see the process starting to take place. As we can see, now we have the summarized information right here in front of our eyes. We can see that there's code analysis, all the information, skills analysis. We can run git analysis to get more information screen. If we go into our settings and user preferences, we see that we're on the all profile that supports all kinds of different files. But if you want, we can go ahead and create, there's already a bunch of other profiles that has been created, but let's go ahead and delete this profile. As you can see, it is completely gone from here, the Om profile. We can now create a new profile, let's call it Om, add a description to it, add the extensions that we want it to take into account, and then if we don't want any directories or any files, we can add them here. I'm okay with this. I'm going to save this profile, and you can see it has now been created right here. You can set it as active, and once it's set as active, you can come back to your main screen and look at it. It's an active profile. Now, let me show you one last thing to show the individual versus collaborative functionality. So we saw in the beginning the collaborative one. Let's go ahead and run our folders yet. Once that is run, let's give it some time here. It should be pretty quick. There you go. That's the summary. Jumping straight into the contribution metrics, you can see this is an individual project with a bunch of other metrics, and you can see this is the only contributor here, which is myself. Thank you so much.
You're going to want to run a portfolio scan, enter your file path, and then run the scan. So for the language breakdown, just click the language breakdown tab. It'll tell you the different languages used and the percentage of their use in the project. For contribution metrics, just click that tab, and it'll tell you different information, like how many contributors there are, how much everyone contributed, and different things like that you would expect. If you go to skills analysis, the program will identify various skills. It'll break them down by category. It'll find the top skills, and then it'll break down each individual skill with a more in-depth explanation. Now, to output all key information for this project. You can export as a JSON report, export as an HTML report, or export as a printable report. I'm just going to go over these different functions in the video really quick. So that was the JSON report. Now we're going to do the HTML report. There we go.
Looking at how our portfolios are saved to Supabase, we can first check our saved projects and see we only have backend. Going back, we can run a new scan. And upon the scan completion, we can export that. And once we finish exporting, we're going to head back down to view saved projects to verify to make sure it's appeared in our terminal. So as we can see, it has appeared in our saved lists. And if we navigate back to Supabase and click refresh, we should see the updated value. There we go. You can see Canvas Course Planner. We're going to look now at retrieving previously generated portfolio information. Doing this, we can click View Saved Projects, and then a list of projects will appear. Here we're going to click View Project, and upon that we can see all the analysis that was derived from that project. Code analysis, skills, and contributions. Clicking Save Project sorts everything by contribution importance. Each project shows a star plus a number, our contribution metric. So at a glance, I can see which projects I impacted the most. It's important to note that you do need a Git directory on your project for this to work. To generate a resume, you first need to scan a project. Once the project is scanned, you're going to navigate to the right side of the menu and click Generate Resume Item. Once you click that, it should take a couple of seconds, but your resume will appear.
To be able to produce a chronological list of projects, if you come to View Save Projects here, you will see a budget tracker application that was scanned at 525. I will scan another project to show the chronological order. I just completed a scan for a project called AI Interview Assistant. I'll export the report and come back to View Save Projects, and you will see that AI Interview Assistant now appears above Budget Tracker as it was scanned most recently at 5 minutes after Budget Tracker. Next, we needed to summarize the top ranked projects. You see here we have a top project summary with the name of the projects, the impact based on the commits the user made, and the available analyses. If you come to the view project here, you can see the top ranked project summary in terms of summary statistics, languages, code quality, skills detected, Git statistics, and so on. Next, we needed to be able to delete previously generated insights. If I come to View Save Projects here, and I come to the AI Interview Assistant, and I click Delete, you'll notice that it has been deleted, and I'm now left with the budget tracker. We needed to be able to produce a chronological list of skills exercise. If I come to the Skill Progression tab here, and I click on it, you'll see that we have a full skill progression timeline containing an AI summary, milestones, and strengths and gaps.
Hello, this is Samarth, and I'll be talking about the extra features that we've added that go beyond the milestone 1 requirements. So here I've already run a portfolio scan, and I'm going to use this to run the AI-powered analysis. When you click on this, you'll get two options. I'll first give an example of text only. Once the analysis begins, you'll see real-time progress updates through the status messages here. Here we batch process the files 5 at a time, and if any file is too large, it's automatically chunked and summarized into smaller sections. So after the processing is complete, here we have the results for the analysis, which are saved in a JSON file that's used to create this dynamic display. Since this is a multi-project portfolio, we get first the portfolio overview with key strands, technical breadth, and a portfolio coherence to show the narrative between all the projects. Then you get the project overview for each project with an executive summary and technical highlights, and key files for each project with 3 key files highlighted. And here you can see both, and supporting files which are not included in either. You can also close the view and then view the last analysis again by clicking here, and so just reappear the dynamic display with the JSON saved. Okay, so now I'll show you the results for the single project portfolio using Media Deep Dive feature. So here we have the results after processing. This is the single project portfolio view with just the project overview, and then we have the key files, and then we have the Media Deep Dive now with images analyzed, and if there's any videos or audio, that will get analyzed as well. And finally, we have the AI auto suggestion feature, which can help improve your code. So here I'm going to select the main index.html file, and it'll take a second to process, and you'll get the improvements for the files. And this is how the results will come out, and it'll get saved in a separate directory where you can take a look at the file and see what lines have been changed. That's all for the AI features. Thank you.